Let's say you're a technician and you're going to need to be doing some diagnostics to the network along with installing new programs on each computer. Once again, this is not a domain network, which means you have no group policies and must configure each machine that you'll be working on. Lucky for you, you know the exact batch files to run in order to shut down the firewalls quickly, run your diagnostics, and download the needed programs before turning the firewall back on. So I'm going to bring up Notepad again. This is just a quicker, easier way. If you prep ahead of time, it takes you 5 minutes to do this, and then it'll save you 5 minutes times 30. Think of it that way. So I'm going to do @echo again. Off. Run the CMD. TSH ADV firewall. And the command for it is set all profiles. When we talk about profiles, we are talking about the actual network on your computer, whether it's a domain, a private network, or a public network. And then pause. Actually, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to save this one. Save as. We're going to save it to the desktop. And then we're going to call it on firewall. Off firewall. Actually, we'll do firewall off. And then all files. Oh yeah, .bat. Almost forgot .bat. That would have been bad. And then I'm going to change this little guy to on. Make it much easier. Save as firewall on .bat. All files. Save. Okay, when I first tried this, I accidentally put a space between all profiles. So this is what it should actually look like for the batch command or the script command. All right. So we'll save it. Open run as administrator. Yes. And it turns the firewall off. Now I know what you're thinking. Yeah, you can actually go in there. You can actually go into the firewall and turn it off using the GUI. But if you're doing multiple things, like I turn the firewall off, then I install Skype, or I install a program, then have to turn the firewall back on, or do some other testing, this could be a little bit quicker. And you would have it on a thumb drive. All you do is run it from the thumb drive, and yeah, so it makes it a little bit easier, and you're better prepared. Okay, as you see, the firewall is still off. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it back on using the batch command. I'm just leaving this up to show proof of concept. Whenever we go ahead and run as an administrator, it's going to turn it back on. And there's going to be one last thing I want to show you. Run as administrator, yes. And there it is. The firewall is back on. So, um, once again, I know I keep repeating myself, but if you have these type of batch files on a flash drive, and it will make your job a lot easier and a lot faster when you're doing diagnostics on a system, or you're trying to turn the firewall off or on and you're installing programs. Um, Instead of going through the GUI every time, these kind of batch files will help you. And this is just an example. I mean, you can turn on ports, you can turn off ports. It's not just programs, and you can take parts of a suite of protocols and allow them through the firewall or block them through a firewall. And if you're able to have virtual player at home or some kind of VMware at home, go ahead and practice doing this kind of stuff, because the more you do it, the easier it's going to be, and the more handy it's going to be for you. This is pretty much an introductory to how to configure firewalls on Windows. It can go much further if you want it to, but these are the basics. This is pretty much going to cover anything that has to do with your A plus. It's a little bit deeper than the A plus. It's more like the Windows certification part of CompTIA, but it does help. It gives you a good practice with making batch files and scripting and batch files as well. So this concludes the lesson for Windows Firewall through the command line utility. I am going to be doing one for PowerShell. It's going to take me a day or two to get it done. So stay tuned for that. And I'm going to try to post, a few more different lectures as well in the near future. So keep paying attention. Please go through these. I will be asking questions for attendance purposes on these through the discussion panel of Canvas. So make sure you stay tuned and you're paying attention to these and answering these questions daily. Okay. All right. Hopefully I will see progress on Canvas and with whatever labs that you can do at home, and we'll work from there. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you guys very soon.